Hey Robbie,
Hey, what's up?
how's it doing, man?
Doing all good.
Nice, nice, good to hear.
Robbie, could you turn your camera on by any chance?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
I mean, before we get into the questions, I just want to ask, how do you like Cortland this semester? How's it going?
it's good. It's tough though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You busy with a lot of work?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your major again?
Exercise science.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
You seem
love
to like
that.
that so far?
Yeah, I do like it.
That's awesome. All right. I guess we have
Yeah.
a preset list of questions. So I guess we'll just hop into that. I guess Andrew and I we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just switch off each one.
Yeah.
But so this is
That's
one of
fun.
Andrew's. Yeah. This is one of Andrew's questions. You've had a killer season. What were your expectations going into it? And what was the main change that helped you get to where you are today?
The expectations have been met to a degree. I think I exceeded my expectation a little in the 5K. I was expecting to break 16. I ended up running a 15:38. It was pretty good. I'd say it was a very solid time.
Nice.
That
Definitely,
is a solid time for sure.
definitely in the 10K, I exceeded my expectation going 32:55 for my first 10K. I think that was,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
and I'm going to be running it again at the conference meet in 2 weeks. Try to hopefully break 32:30.
That'd be awesome. Nice.
Where are you seated? Are you just seated at your PR for that?
Yeah, it's like top 16 in the conference get to go to it's called SUNYAC. It's like
Oh
the,
shit.
the 16 fastest runners in the conference get to go.
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
awesome.
even get into the 5K this year because the times are too fast.
You got into the 10K though, right?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
be in the
awesome.
10K.
That's insane. You're a freshman and you got into the top 16 in your conference. It's awesome.
And I qualified for regionals as well, but I don't know if he's
Nice.
bringing me or not because he wants to reset me for the summer.
That's
That's
awesome.
great, man.
Yeah. So
Wow, you're
like
killing it.
in terms of training, what do you think is like led from the difference from Ward Melville to Cortland training? Like, what do you think has like helped you the most in terms of like improving your times like so exponentially, like running 15:39? That's just crazy.
Going up to like 75 miles a week. That's been a good position up. I think I'm responding well to the distance. I've been having good workouts.
You
Nice.
notice the workouts are
consistent.
kind of like longer in volume or
Yeah.
more intensity.
Yeah, we had like a VO2 workout that was like 800, 800, 1600, 800, then 800 after that.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would run,
that's yeah.
and I'd run those 800s around 227. So 227, 227, then I run a 455. Then another 227, then I close in a 216, I believe, for the last
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Wow. That's
That's
moving.
awesome.
Yeah, I felt
Wow.
very good. Unfortunately, I had a race on Friday and like the Friday after, and I couldn't hit the 455s for back to back to back that I was supposed to do in the
It's
5K.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not
no.
always gonna kill every race though, you know. So like in terms of so pretty much like your workouts have been like higher volume stuff. It sounds like you're doing like a lot of distance for your speedier. Yeah,
Correct.
cool. That's awesome to hear.
I think the long runs also help too, like going up to
Yeah,
17 and long runs.
yeah, doing 17-mile long
Also,
run. So
really,
yeah,
it helps a lot.
speaking of that, so you've been doing like these I've been hearing you talk about these like 17-mile long runs, these, you know, you're doing like 70, 75 miles a week. So
I was
that,
in peak season.
yeah, peak season. But like how is that with that being said, that there's a big difference there between what we did in Ward Melville and what, you know, what you do now. So how is like the structure of like practice changed? Like what does a Cortland practice look like on the daily?
So like on Mondays we start practice. It's 4 o'clock practice during the week.
Mhm.
On Monday we'll have like a maintenance run or easy run where we just go out for like how many miles depending on how many miles are out per week. You do core before the run and then you go out and do that run.
Really? So
Yeah.
you guys you're doing core before the run. That's pretty, never seen that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah, but it's not fun when you're doing the plank variation right before you go for a run.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
only
that must
imagine
be
that.
that must be tough. I'd be pretty tired if I did core before every run too, honestly. You do that every day or kind of every other day or
Depend. Like on Mondays usually we do.
Yeah.
The weeks vary depending on what race we run for each week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, do you guys have like on and off weeks, or is it kind of just like you guys have like consistently high mileage?
During the winter, around January to March, we were consistently pretty high mileage. Then we're starting to taper down now since it's becoming championship season.
So you think
Nice.
it's more like it's like less mileage, but like higher intensity kind of stuff, or just like overall kind of less?
Kind of like less now that we're getting into the conference, like the regional meets. We need our legs to be fresh to go out and run really fast times.
Yeah, that's
That's-
probably smart.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how long have you think this like training cycle has been as at like the max?
Maybe like training cycle, like the training cycle.
Like this season, like when did you start like building up a base and then like tapering down? Like how long has that period entirely been?
Oh, okay. I during the winter, like when I got back home, was like when we kind of started to build the base.
Yeah.
I ran
So like
like consistently like 70 a week from like mid-January off to like middle of March, or like through March, April. So until I got to that 10K. But I would have down weeks, of course, in the middle of those weeks. Like obviously I'm not gonna run 70 every week for 3 months. That would it be too smart.
interesting.
No.
So like
Okay.
3-4 months of like pretty high mileage with some down weeks
Yeah.
mixed in there.
Yeah. Like during spring break, I was at 60.
Wow,
I kind of went down to 60 miles a week. So
that's
I kinda
awesome.
try to get my legs a little bit more fresh.
Like that's your down week. That's crazy. Do you take any off days like at all? Like fully off or no?
During the 70 weeks, I wasn't taking any days off. I was going 7 days a week.
Okay, but during like 60 or like easier weeks, do you take a day off or?
Yeah, it depends, honestly, how some days I might go out just for like a 6 miler just to get the legs just recovery. Because sometimes I need more of an active recovery now, or rather
Okay.
than passive. If I really need it, I'm gonna take a passive recovery, but I try to do active recovery because it'll help the legs a little more.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. A lot of people, I know a lot of people that aren't runners that think like, oh, you're crazy running 7 days a week. I'm like, well, no, you take a few, let's say you're doing 50 miles a week, like I've been doing, then you take 1 or 2 days to be 4 miles, and that will be more beneficial than taking a full day off.
Yeah, because I remember doing like 7 or 8 on one of my like the days I was supposed to take off, and I felt actually better than the next day of actually running
Yeah.
8. Because I did the 8 extremely slow, like 8-minute pace.
Yeah.
So it was a slow run.
How's like just like the area of Cortland like running there? Is it hilly? Is it scenic? Is it?
It's pretty hilly.
Yeah, it's
This-
upstate.
We had a run. I think it was after went to this meet in Pennsylvania indoors. It was Susquehanna. They had like a massive. We had like a really difficult 17 miler the next day, and it was tough. It was
Yeah.
really tough. We went to the hilliest part that day. I ran like a 16:09 at that meet that I ended up going and doing a very difficult run in a lift the next day. So it got me very strong though, doing all
Yeah.
this hard stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I keep on like with all that mileage and all that like elevation gain, like that's probably made a world of difference for you.
Oh, yeah.
I can only imagine.
I mean, I don't know if you mentioned this, but you guys don't do like any cross training, or is it kind of like
Because some of the people that are injured, or like on the lower mileage scale, they'll go do cross training on the bike for like an hour or so. And for the
Right.
long, and if it's like a long day, they'll go like 2 hours of cross training.
okay, wow. And you've
I've
noticed
luckily
like
never had to do that.
Yeah.
that's great, honestly, that your body's responded that well to the mileage. But like in terms of like your body, do you notice any like stressors or like your body acting differently with all the high mileage? Is it kind of just like you just feel better and stronger?
I think I feel better and stronger, but I think also the stress from classes doesn't make doing it any easier. I think it actually makes it a lot more difficult.
Right. I mean, I can imagine, you're spending a lot more time like actually running compared to like our 40-ish mile weeks back in high school. So
Yeah.
the workload's probably a lot more. So yeah, no, definitely. That's amazing that you're able to balance all that.
I do think
and
it's
then,
the class load too, just like the classes I'm taking, and
Yeah.
also
right.
it makes like taking classes like calculus or chemistry make a difference. Obviously,
Right.
at like
Yeah.
college level. than at a high school level.
For sure.
And then like in terms on like a personal and like social level, like how do you notice like the atmosphere of the team compared to Ward Melville? And like, do you like the team and like the school itself even?
I do like the school a lot. I'm glad I chose the school.
Mhm.
They got the
That's
training.
awesome.
The training is tough. The training's tough. I'm learning to deal with a lot of stress at once, trying to like, balance it out because I've never really had this much stress before,
Yeah.
running and academically and athletically. Like the pressure to do well. Now that the standard is the bar is getting higher and higher and higher every single year.
Right.
Like I'm
And you
gonna be
think
trying to break 15 next year, and that's what I'm really trying to do for the
that's a
5K.
pretty high goal. And I think you can, that's definitely within reach. I mean, you're
That's
as a
definitely in
freshman running
reach.
15:39. I mean, you have three full years left of, complete, you're just going to get better as you get older. Also, you're going to, your muscles get stronger, you're going to get the mind. So the fact that you're doing this well this early is, an indicator of success to come for sure. But I mean, like in terms of like, as I said, like the team atmosphere, I don't know if you answered this question already, but like, do you have a lot of good friends on the team or is there like any
Yeah.
beef or yeah?
Nah, I wouldn't say there's beef. Not now. No beef.
That's
That's
good.
good.
Like I get along with everyone well. It's a good atmosphere. We go out and do things together. Like we have team dinners. We go to the dining halls. It's a team.
That's awesome.
That's great to hear.
So,
Um,
yeah, speaking of like balancing like social life and school and like the social aspects of running on the team, how have you been able to balance like your social life, athletics, and academics all at the same time?
Time. It took time to do it.
You just adapted over, it took a semester or so.
Oh, yeah. Took me a whole semester in the fall to do it.
So do you have any like tips or tricks like that you use to kind of make more time for yourself and budget better?
Honestly, I think it's getting done the hard shit early. Like getting if you have a class like chemistry or like I'd say get that stuff done first. It's gonna like for me personally, it's a lot harder than the other classes I'm taking.
Okay. That's a
I
good
know
way to go about it.
that class is gonna take a lot more effort. I'm putting in a couple hours a day of work into the class, so
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
no, that's definitely smart getting the hard stuff away first, because then everything else is kind of just, easier from there. So you definitely gain momentum once you get past the hard part. It's kind of just downhill. So yeah, that's great. That's a great way to manage time in school for sure. But like in terms of like, I know a lot of people watching right now are thinking of running at a collegiate level one day, or actually are, like if Julian's watching this. So like, what's one tip you'd give to an incoming D3 or D1 runner, or just like anyone trying to run at the collegiate level?
don't get soft in the races. Don't be soft in the fourth K of a 5K, just in the middle of a mile race. Just try not to be soft if you can. I made the mistake many times. I getting reminded. I just don't be soft.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's tough, honestly, because I know when I was like a 10th grader or ninth grader running against, juniors and seniors back in high school, I was pretty intimidated. I'd get a little timid, or especially in races. So I think that's definitely great advice for anyone coming in. You just got to stay confident and believe in yourself, not soften up during those crucial moments, especially with the high pressure. So in terms of like PRs in the future, like what's like by the time you finish Cortland, like what do you want to say your PRs are?
I want to be in the low 14s in the 5K.
It's achievable.
wanna-
Possible.
If I could break 30 in the 10K, that would be phenomenal. That's going to be hard, but I really want, if I could break 30, I think that'd be fantastic.
I mean, honestly, like with the way you've responded to the high mileage, I don't think that's out of reach at all. Like I know you're still like pretty far off from those goals, but as I said again, like it seems like the Cortland training structure seems to benefit you really well. And I think into the future, it's just going to get even better for you. So yeah, that's great. I'm really happy for you.
The goal is to break records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to break a couple records in my senior year.
In terms of records, are there any that like you look at and you're like, oh, maybe, school record one day, or like relays even, I don't know.
My teammate just broke the 5K record. He ran a 14.
Yeah, I saw that.
now.
He ran a
I'm trying
14.
to 18. Yeah.
Wow. That is moving.
He's going to Penn. He's going to Penn competing in the 5K on Thursday night.
That's great. Damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I've always wanted to run at Penn,
Oh
especially
my
as like a
God.
relay team. That would be awesome. Junior year, spring, we got kind of snubbed, but who knows what would have happened, honestly. That would have been pretty awesome to bring a 4x8 there or something. So
I think I could make it to Penn my senior year. That's the goal, to be able to go 1 year.
oh no, for
Run the
sure. I
5K.
mean, yeah. What do you know the standard for
Okay.
that, or is there kind of like a placement or something like that? Or
It's 29.55 for the 10. 29.55 for the 10K this year, and 14.15 this year for the 5K.
I mean, hey, yeah, as an upperclassman, like if it's aligned with your goals perfectly. So that'd be an awesome opportunity to run at Penn. In terms of any other like big races you want to race at one day, like milestone races, like do you have any in mind other than Penn?
Nationals. I want to go to D3 nationals. I want to make it.
That's dope. You think you do that as a relay or individually or maybe both? Or
I think I could go either in the 5K or the 10K. I think I got
Okay.
a shot.
Definitely. No, I see it in you for sure. I mean, I know we never got the chance in high school, but I mean, in college, this is your perfect time to shine. And, with higher mileage, who knows, how far that'll take you. But like in terms of like your racing schedule this past, 2 semesters, you've had a lot of races under your belt. Like, what do you think your favorite race has been from these past like few seasons and why?
I think it was the 10K that I ran a couple of weeks ago at Widener. I
Yeah.
ran my 20 or no, my 32.55 under the lights. That was a great atmosphere. I had everyone cheering for me. It was a great day.
Wait, where was that again?
Widener University in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So
And
do you think you're
like
gonna
traveling?
transition to like more 10K or 5K?
I think I'm gonna be like for this season, I'm gonna try to really focus on the 10K more.
Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of have more of that frame, but 5K is still your wheelhouse for sure, I think.
And
Um,
for the next coming seasons, I think 5K, 10K. I can't see myself really leaving those 2 events in the track season at least.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
not.
agree with that. Like for you, especially, you've always been like kind of more of like a higher mileage kind of, person, especially in the 2 mile in high school. You're going head to head with Anthony. I mean, that definitely seems to be your strong suit. But like in terms of like your racing this season, like when is your last race and do you have any plans to race over the summer, or is it all just going to be kind of like a long kind of build up for cross country?
I think I haven't decided quite yet about races over the summer, but I may decide when I get closer to it. But I might do a road race or 2, like a 10K, maybe a 5K, to see what kind of
Definitely.
shape I'm in.
That'd be
And in
cool.
terms of this season, what did you already have your last race, or you said you were going to right
Suniac.
Suniac, yeah. Is that so that you're gonna cap it there?
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's a
believe
good
so.
one to cap it on. It's sick.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, top 16 in SUNY schools as a freshman, that's unbelievable, Robbie. Honestly, like
Yeah,
really
really.
proud of you. Yeah. But
It depending who enters it, they'll like scratch a couple people because I'm like 18 right now on the 5K. So
Oh, okay.
They could-
Oh, so it's like divisions and counties.
yeah, almost. Like they
Yeah.
could scratch people. Like for example, Geneseo has like a bunch of guys in the 5K already, so they can't have a certain amount to their scratch.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Geneseo's like a powerhouse team, right?
They're like the Northport of Suffolk County. But
Yeah,
better.
that's what I've heard.
They're crazy good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolute
definitely.
beast. So you guys like kind of like rival them, or
Yeah.
like you have a rivalry? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, two Sunnis, two good Sunnis at especially like the distance stuff. Um, yeah, it's got to be pretty intense competition.
Yeah. Definitely.
And in
That's always
terms of
fun.
like coming into college, did you have any doubts about being a collegiate runner? Like, what were like your biggest fears and doubts? Like coming into cross, like you remember your first couple practices, like what was going through your mind, like even for the first race?
Honestly, first cross season wasn't fantastic. My AKs weren't what I want them to be. I didn't even break 28 in the AK. It was pretty. If I did it, thought about it now, I would think, oh, this was god awful.
Yeah. So
It was my first season.
I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely there's kind of that learning curve coming into it. And then how do you feel like you feel like your summer training was kind of indicative of how you performed, or was it kind of like you had a nice summer training and then like the races just didn't seem to come together?
I had a nice summer training, but then the races didn't come together quite.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
If you could do anything different in the cross season, like do you think you could go back and maybe try something differently, or was kind of just the pressure of transitioning to college?
Honestly, I thought it was just because like I explored a lot of very much socially the first semester. Like, I went out to a few things, just met some new people, that kind of stuff. I think it affected my training the first semester.
Yeah, but it's kind of important to make those mistakes like first semester,
Oh yeah,
and get that
definitely.
all out
Like
before,
going out to parties, obviously. That
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you got to meet people, you got to, explore, and honestly, good on you for doing that. I think that like a lot of people can get bogged down in their training and in school and not develop that social circle.
Yeah.
And like that'll benefit you down the line, to be honest. So, you know, it's okay to have like one bad season. You've had a great winter and a great spring, and I'm sure next cross season you're gonna be just a fucking beast.
I'm trying to break 26 in the AK.
Oh, you got
Doable.
that for sure. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
So
like your 10K pace is basically kind of like that. I'm not really sure if that translates exactly, but
I split a 26-20, I believe, 26-20 around in the AK, I believe.
I
What?
mean, yeah,
What?
that's if that doesn't
It was
say
like a
anything, then
26-20 or 26-30. It was like around there.
What the hell? That is insane.
yeah,
It's really
you
hard to
definitely
like
got a
take
lot more.
into. Oh my God. That is super fast.
Yeah.
God damn.
I was averaging like, because at the beginning, I think the first mile I came through, I was supposed to do like 79 per 400. That's my coach has these race plans that he has. Like he'll set us up to like run a good race. He's like, all right, try to stay with the upperclassmen and stick to 79 per 400. I like try to do that. And I stayed behind, like the upperclassmen will pace us through. I tried, and I ended up going like 78 seconds a couple of the laps. Before I came through mile one around 5:16. And I was like, all right, this is got to stay committed at this time.
That's
Going
amazing.
through. I can't imagine a 6 mile race though. I've never experienced that. Can you? Because I mean, we only really raced up to 5K in high school. Can you describe what it was like to race like your first 10K or 8K, which are like that's like a full 5-6 miles.
I mean, like on the track too. That's just
Yeah, on the
like I
track.
feel like I just get like, what's going through your mind during 6 miles on a track?
I would be honest here. It was easier to do it with having the upperclassmen pace us through like the first 6K of the race. We could just stay on them, just stay connected with them. That was the goal of the first 6 kilometers of the race. And the last 4K, it's like, all right, that was time for us to do the work. They're going to pick up the pace, but then now it's time for us to really race it because this is where it's going to count. It's time to not be soft now.
For a whole 4K. That's like a
Yeah,
whole 15 minutes almost of not being soft like that. That takes a lot of grit. And I'm sure like the higher mileage has helped you out with
yeah.
maintaining that sort of pace and stuff. I've been hearing that more and more recently. That higher mileage is really, really beneficial for that kind of strength that you've been exhibiting this semester. But with that being said, I kind of had a little bit of an off-topic question. I was kind of interested to see like what your daily life was like. Like, can you take us through like basically a day in the life of Robby Davidson as a D3 athlete?
All right. So I wake up around like a little before 8 o'clock. I go get breakfast. I'll do some homework before I go to my classes for the day. Depend. I have a class around 10 o'clock. So on Mondays, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So try to get as much work as I can done before class. Then I have two classes like back to back. Then I'll have like a little bit of a break. Then I go to another class. So I
Yeah.
try to do as much work as I can during this period.
Mhm.
The
And then you
fact
go to
that
practice?
yeah, because on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll have calculus, chemistry, and writing. So those would be my
Oh,
three classes.
sounds
So
like
I
a
try
fun
to,
day.
Oh, yikes.
yeah, it's okay. But then I'll
Yeah.
try to get as much work as I can done before the class starts.
Okay.
And,
So
like
what do you
study for
do?
tests, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
What do you do after your practice?
Um, just go get dinner, and on Mondays I go to a Chem Workshop. So it's basically like almost like extra help.
Mhm.
It's like optional, but you could like, pick like a time slot depending on who your professor is. So I go to
Nice.
it it's Mondays of 8 to 9:30, hour and a half. You just do like practice chemistry problems, like a group of people. It helps understand the topic a little bit better. If you're struggling in class, that kind of stuff, it's beneficial.
So it's kind of
Nice.
like an office
That's
hours,
Monday,
but,
though.
like it's more organized, like you have actual like questions.
It's like student led. Like
Oh.
it's like my person who did like well, and like I'm taking general chemistry too right now. It's like one
Oh, that's
person
awesome.
that
Yeah.
did good in the class, like instructs the class.
And you think that's like, you see like any of those questions on the test, like you see like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
I think
awesome.
I think it's good baseline more than anything. Not as much the exact questions, but it's a good starting point to get
Right,
to.
right. And like, I know this is kind of off topic again, but like, when does one start kicking for a 10K? And have you noticed like your kick improve with, the higher mileage and everything? Like, I'm assuming it would, but like, I know that's something that you kind of complained about in high school. Like you feel like legs weren't under you or something like that.
The weight lift, doing endurance and strength lift like consistently, like one strength lift and one endurance lift a week helps. Just eating more, that kind of stuff. Just doing stride outs, that kind of stuff. Because when you're doing high mileage, you trade speed for endurance. But
And in
doing the
terms of,
stride outs,
like the
keeps the
kicking, like
turnover.
you notice like you start like kicking it in like what, like half a mile before like the finish for a 10K? Because I feel like you can't just leave it last lap, obviously.
You could do it a little bit earlier, maybe, but like you don't want to go like a full out sprint like you would in 800 or
Right.
1500-meter race.
It's got to be like way more subtle, kind of like a
Yeah.
gradual kind of kick.
Yeah.
I actually ran a 1500 a couple days like on Friday.
Oh, how'd you do?
How'd that go?
It went all right. I ran a 4:15. Not I should have broke 4:10, but
That's-
it is what it is.
That's not too bad. That's like
That's still a
4:35.
PR, right?
Yeah, it's like
I think it's like 4:30. I think 4:30 around. If I
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
raced the extra 100, I would have run like 4:31. But still,
That's amazing,
That's
Robbie.
awesome. That's great.
it's
Because you're not training that.
yeah. Because I was trying to go for sub 4:10, but
Yeah. You'll get there.
You will get there, trust me. Like as I said, like speed and endurance, like with time as you get older, like you're still adjusting. Like I know like you're doing really well with the training, but you're still gonna your body's still fully adjusting to like all this training, college, all of that. So it's just gonna get better from here. I'm sure of it. Hopefully you won't run into too bad of injuries or anything like that. So, and in terms of like you talk about endurance and strength lifting, like what's the difference between those? Like I have an idea in my mind, like endurance kind of might be like lower weight, higher reps, or you want to just walk us through like your lifting routines?
endurance lift is grueling,
Mhm.
very grueling. I never enjoy. It's like we have like lift E for endurance and lift S for strength. So like lift E will consist of Bulgarian split squats, side step ups, like single arm, like dumbbell bench, that kind of stuff.
So is it high reps? I would assume.
Yeah, and then it's like pull ups. It's like 5 sets to failure. So
Oh wow,
it's bad.
That's tough.
So you're doing an AMRAP. That's an AMRAP workout. That fucking sucks.
It's like 3 by 30 Bulgarian on each leg, 3 by 30 side step up each leg. Then it's like total of like 40 on like for bench, like dumbbell
Wow.
bench. Then you do pull ups 5 till failure. And like I usually hit the most reps on my first set, and then I start exponentially getting lower on the pull ups. I fatigue quickly, and the
So
rest isn't wicked short.
Are those like at those? I'm assuming those are not on workout days, right? That has to be after like an easier run.
Oh no, it was after we had him after we did a VO2 workout back in the winter.
Wow.
We'd have VO2, then we go do lift E. It was pretty bad.
Oh my lord.
So you must be in pretty awesome shape right now, honestly, with everything you're going through.
Yeah, that was during the winter, like between January, but we got back in March. I was
Right.
doing a lot,
You
like
kinda
lift E,
build
lift
that-
S.
Right. You kind of build
That
that
was a difficult
strength and
time.
that carries on through the season.
Yeah, it's easy to get sick too where you're doing it. I know I'm not in the best, like I feel like a little sick right now, but it's easy. You'll get sick when you get to college at least once.
yeah.
in
I
your
know,
freshman
I
year.
have a lot, so
I got sick twice my first semester, and I got sick once. I'm almost out of it right now, but
Yeah. No, but so do you lift like only early season pretty much?
no, we had a strength lift today, but lift E is really during the peak season.
Oh, okay. So you lift during peak season.
We're still lifting right now, but we're doing the strength lift right now. Only strength lift.
Oh, so strength lifts during peak and then endurance lifts during like pre-season.
Just during the peak, you do strength and endurance. Usually strength lift is on our Sunday practice. After
Okay.
it's like long run lift, like long run plus lift S. Usually,
Okay.
like
So
usually that's Sundays. That's like pretty much every Sunday. Sometimes on Sundays we'll have like a long run workout where we do like we have like lactate, which is like faster than tempo pace, but like slower than VO2 pace. So for me right now, it's like 5:28 per mile is VO or lactate pace.
that's
Wow.
that's a fast
So
like.
you
I
guys
remember we had
really diversify your training in terms of like tempos, thresholds, and
lactate.
VO2 max. Yeah.
Yeah, lactate is. We had one workout on Sunday. It was like I think it was like a total of 7 lactate miles, like all together, because it was like two. It was like the first part was like two. It was like 2 by 2 miles at lactate. And then it was like you do like a 4 mile in between, and then you go do 1 by 3 or 3 by 1 mile at lactate. I'll send you a picture of the workout once we're done with this.
So you're
But it
casually
was
doing
probably
a 4-mile tempo at 5:28 in between.
it's so what basically it was is so we start out with like a 3 mile warm up, and then we go into two. So it's like 2 mile. It's like 2 by 2 mile lactate. So then it would be 2 miles lactate, like 2 minutes rest. Then you do another 2 miles at lactate,
Wow.
and then you take a 4. It's like 4 miles, but in between the workout, then you do 3 by 1 mile at lactate, and then you go for like a 3 mile cool down at the end, because that totals it's supposed to total your long run. So like if I'm at 17 for the week, it'll total like 16.
Yeah, that is literally
that's
that's kind of in my head. That's like
it's
16,
it's
17
god awful.
max. So
It's
that's
god awful.
wow.
Like a 2-hour workout. Oh my god.
It's awful.
Wow. That's really interesting.
It's a tough one. We had the 7 lactate miles total. It was my legs were feeling like crap. It
I
was
mean,
really
so
tough.
you must be appreciating this nicer weather recently with all the time you're spending outside, right?
Yeah, it was. We did that when the couple weeks ago when it was still like freezing cold here. The weather of central New York is extremely unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
bad.
it's 81
gonna-
degrees today, right?
It's gonna snow in 2 days.
Yeah.
I guess this weather be screwing me up, man.
Upstate weather is literally the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I'm like looking at the
Oh,
weather.
absolutely.
It's gonna go from 77 to 35 in like 2 days. So
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, no.
it's so insane.
It's so different. I've never experienced weather like this.
Yeah. I mean,
April is very weird.
April is a weird one. I mean, I know it's been all over the place for us here in Syracuse, and I'm sure Binghamton's probably the same thing.
Yeah, in Cortland, we all
I'm right between you guys.
right? Like 3 days ago, or
Yeah, it was like snowing a couple days ago.
yeah, no.
Like, what's
we
up with that?
Yeah, we got a full foot, and now it's 81 degrees today.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Absolutely crazy. How has been like dealing with? Has that like affected your training at all? Like I felt that it's affected mine a tiny bit.
It just affects honestly affects the immune system a lot. It's like changing, and I think that could be getting me a little sick too. It's the change in weather constantly. It's like
Yeah, it's really unpredictable. It's just the fluctuations, especially here in Bing. I'm not sure if you guys are like in a valley, but if you're in a valley, which we are, the weather is like on crack. Like
yeah,
it just
I remember.
be hot or cold.
I went to Bucknell and raced a couple weeks ago. That was when I had my shit race. We got a lot of shit for it, but it was like 70 degrees that day at Bucknell.
Yeah,
And I didn't know what I remember getting like. I mean, I know I was like nervous and stuff before that meet too, but it's just the weather didn't help either. It was beautiful outside. It's just the sun beating down on you. I wasn't used to it. I was used to the cloudy weather I had in Cortland here.
Right.
yeah, no. I go for like a 5-mile easy run today when it's 80 degrees. And I feel like ass because it's super hot in comparison to what we're used to, But yeah, it's pretty tough.
Robbie, is there anything you want to ask us as like, a Head Start team, or anything you want to talk to us about?
What are ways with dealing with like bad races? Because for example, at the Bucknell, I raced at Bucknell like a like 2 weeks ago. I remember running the 1550 and I was pissed for like the top like 24 hours after I raced. Like I couldn't stop thinking about the 5K. I was like, damn, I almost wanted to do a full long run like the next day or the 2 days after because I was just so pissed
I know for me
about how I
personally,
raced.
like,
I was very mad.
yeah,
It blew up.
no, that's a totally natural reaction. I know, like in high school, I get very angry. I know Anthony especially got very pissed.
I puked
from
twice
bad
after. I puked twice in the first 10 minutes of the cooldown.
Jesus Christ. I
It
mean,
was
so
it
you
was a bad
definitely
day.
you laid it all out there for sure. But I think the two things that I try to focus on after a bad race is like, one, can you say that you tried your best? And two, like put things in perspective. Like one bad race does not define who you are. Like you have so many more seasons, like especially as a freshman. Like I guess the best kind of advice is just like move on. Like you have other races to come. Like take what you can from that race, like pick it apart, see where you like went wrong, or if you just felt bad, then that's just the day. Like how you wake up, like you feel differently every day. It's some things are just out of your control. So I think you just have to balance what you can control and what you can't control, and kind of take the lessons from that and just move on to the next race. Because as you said, like you're looking forward to running at SUNY AC. So I mean, that's going to be a great race, and you just got to like look forward to that and trust that do everything you can to prepare yourself for that race and feel good on that day, and trust yourself, trust your coaches, trust your training, and literally just go all out there. Like as you're one of the grittiest runners I know. Like you'll always leave it out there on the track, and that's how you can trust yourself. If everything else is out of your control, like the weather, like everything else, like you can control, your effort, and that's the main advice I got for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The only time I think you should be genuinely mad after a race is if you did not try your hardest. If you went all out and, let's say you went in with a bad race strategy, or let's say it just wasn't there that day, you just weren't feeling good, you can't do anything about that. And, as a person who's had plenty of bad races, if you sweat over every single race ever, it's going to be a spiraling effect. And not that you shouldn't be mad about a bad race, but like you should actually, I actually think you should contain that anger. Like you should be mad.
I was really, really pissed.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to harness it in a smart way.
Right. And I think you could let that fuel you like towards your next race. Like be mad about it for a day or two, like really think about it and think about what, like if you did anything wrong or if you didn't, just like feel those emotions of anger. And then, after those couple of days, you gotta let it go and look forward to your next one, focus on your training, let it fuel you, But anything else in regards to questions or comments?
We got a minute and 25 seconds.
Just trying to think because I've been on a roll, and then this one race just comes, and I the last like couple of K I was running like I had like a 320. I think that's why the coach was just so mad. He knew I was like it was like I kind of blew up. Maybe it could have mentally checked out, but I didn't. I don't know if about mentally checked out. But I just wasn't feeling good at all that day.
And,
Yeah,
that's something that's kind of out of your control sometimes.
Dude.
Sometimes you just don't feel good on a certain day.
Running
you can't-
320s at the end of a 5K is extremely disappointing at this point of the season for me. No, my coach was like, all right, you should be running like because the plan was supposed to drop from 74s to go 73s for the last 3K.
Right.
I certainly did not do that. I went in the opposite direction of that the plan was supposed to go.
The good thing is, you can do that, and that you can get back to that.
Absolutely can.
So, of course.
I absolutely can do it.
It's not
I
the end
gotta-
of it all.
I gotta put it together for one
Right.
race.
Robbie, best of luck to you at SUNY and the rest of your season. I hope it goes really well. Thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us. We really appreciate talking
It's
to
been
you.
a pleasure, Robbie.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Good luck with the rest of your season, man.
You too, guys.
Peace.
Peace out.